use them on different time frames, 5-minute time frames for intraday trades, and on daily time frames to define swing trades. So we'll go ahead and get started. So again, first thing I have to do, of course, is the disclaimer here. All signals and trading opportunities we provide are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so we won't be giving financial advice. Okay, so we'll move ahead here. If you have any questions, by the way, you can. I'll have the question box open. You can pop them in there, and I'll try to answer them. If I can't, if it's something related to something that I don't that I can't answer, then you can go ahead and put your name and phone number in the question box or the chat box, and Rory will call you back, or you can put your Skype username in there. And this is his phone number. I'll show you that again at the end. All right. So this is a couple of graphics here. First, this is just the graphics of the SPY Super System. This is a piece of software that I run on Thinkorswim. I do not trade on Thinkorswim, but I use this on Thinkorswim because the software runs there. The whole point of the SPY Super System, it's also called the Compass System, is to track institutional money flow. We're going to trade with the institutions, and we need to know what the institutions are doing if we're going to trade with the institutions. Okay, and this is the alert service that I have. I send out high probability trade setups. Whenever they come, there's no specific number of trades. It depends on when they occur. Some days there'll be none, some days there'll be 1 or 2. So, you know, that we send them out to your phone, and I'm on the alert service myself, so I know how long they take to get there. Take about 15 seconds to come out, and you can then trade on the go. Okay, first thing I want to talk about, and I talk about this in every one of my webinars, so if you've listened to me before, you're going to have heard this, but I wanted to talk about what drives the market. And it's really important to understand what drives the market, because as retail traders, if we're going to make money, we've got to be trading with the institutions when the institutions are trading. And this is the graphic representation of the market. These little marbles here, these are the retail traders such as myself and likely everybody else here. So when we're trading, when the institutions, and this is the institutions, when we're trading and the institutions are not trading with any force, then what you've got is retail traders trading against each other. And when this is what's happening, all you're going to get is a lot of chop and a lot of chaos. I mean, it's really important to understand that if you're just trying to trade against other retail traders without lining yourself up with the institutions, you're going to get chopped to bits over time. So this is retail traders. Now, these are the folks that drive the market. We can't move the market as retail traders. The institutions can. And the institutions are made up, and you probably know most of this, they're made up of investment banks such as Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Morgan Stanley. That's a big portion of the investment of the institutions. But they're also made up of hedge funds. There's hundreds of hedge funds. Hedge funds have billions of dollars to trade and invest. They're also made up of pension funds, firemen, police, state workers. These are huge, huge funds with billions of dollars to invest and trade. And lastly, there are the things such as T. Rowe Price and Vanguard mutual funds. They also make up the part of the institutions. This is what's pushing the market in any particular direction. When there's a bunch of them, a large number of them pushing on one stock or one ETF in one direction or the other. This is what moves the market. And as retail traders, for us to make profits, we've got to be able to identify that situation. All right, and that's what this is all about, is looking for high probability trades. Now, in the room and on the alert service, I have a couple of easy rules to trade by. First thing is we trade the best and skip the rest. It sounds really easy. It's not. You have to be able to find the highest probability trade setups there are, but we do that by using our software, and I'll go into some details on that. And skip the rest. This is probably the most important thing. I think that before I had the SPY Super System software, I was a successful trader. I've been doing this for 15 years. Had very, very good track record, had about an 82% win rate. But when I switched to the SPY Super System, which was called the Compass System at the time, where I was able to better identify when the institutions were in a trade and when they're not, what it did for me was it allowed me to bypass trades that I might have taken in the past and increase my win rate is between about 88 and 90% now. And that's a pretty high win rate for trading trading options. Second thing is, I point out in the room every day, our objective is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money. And I emphasize this because most traders feel like they need to be trading all the time. One of the biggest problems with most retail traders is they overtrade. They feel like if they're sitting in front of their computer, I need to have a trade on. You don't. You only want to make trades to make money. So our objective is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money, and that is trying to instill patience into traders. Okay, and the two big things here is maintain discipline. When I say maintain discipline, what I mean is have a strategy that you know works 80% of the time or more, and stick to it. Wait for the setups to come. Don't be just jumping from one strategy to another. If you've got a strategy that works, try to stick with it. Or strategies, we have several strategies, but all of them are 85% win rates or higher. So try to maintain discipline. Stick to that. If you don't get your trade set up, don't trade. Second thing is to remain patient, and this is a hard thing for traders to do. I mean, yesterday was a horrible day in the market to try to trade. It was Fed day. The market was just going nowhere. Even after the Fed, it was just bouncing around. It ended up right where it started out. And it's, for me in the room, I basically have to re-emphasize all day long, don't make trades, don't make trades. Sit on your hands, look at charts, but please don't make any trades right now. Okay, so those are the keys right here. Maintain discipline. In other words, trade your strategies, wait for the setups, and remain patient. Now, as profitable traders, if we're going to be profitable traders, we do need an edge over the other retail traders. And our edges are what used to be, it's called the right line compass system. The right line compass system with the software that runs on Thinkorswim that also now includes scanners and other indicators is actually called the SPY super system. So that's what it's actually called. But this allows us to know when institutions are in the trade. Then we trade relative strength and relative weakness. This does not mean RSI. Relative strength means if the SPY is moving sideways and down, and you've got a stock that's stacking green candles, then you've got relative strength to the indexes, right? To the SPY. That gives you relative strength. Trading relative strength to the long side gives you an extra edge, because if the market turns against you, your stock is not going to turn down as fast as the market is. So you're trading with relative strength and relative weakness to the short side. It gives you another edge. Third thing is we trade with the market trend if there is one. Today was a pretty bullish day. Our trades were all long as we were trading, and had a good day doing that. And then the last one is to buy near support and sell near resistance. This is part of having patience, waiting for a trade to set up for you. Wait till the stock price comes to a support or a resistance level, bounces off of it to the upside if you're going long. Wait for that confirmation of the bounce to the upside, and that's going to get you in at a really good price. And one of the things I'm going to show you on the Heiken-Ashi candles is how when the stock comes down to support and bounces off of it, how the Heiken-Ashi candles will give you a confirmation that reversal has occurred. So you will skip a lot of failed breakouts and failed breakdowns. All right, and again, the compass system or the SPY super system, what it does is it identifies the highest probability trade setups while sidestepping setups that look good, but they're going to fail more often than they work. And that's what we just talked about. In other words, are the institutions in this trade or are they not? It does this by identifying when the institutions are driving the move and when they're not. And the software analyzes really complex trading data to come up with this information, but it displays it in really, really easily identifiable visual format that I'll show you these charts. The visual element makes it possible for even new traders to find high probability trade setups. This is kind of what it looks like, but I'm going to show you some live charts of all this. All right, and this is how we get an edge over retail traders. We only take trades that are being driven by the institutions. I keep coming back to this. We're going to trade with the institutions. We trade stocks that have relative strength or relative weakness versus the SPYs or the Qs, and we trade in the direction of the overall market. If you do these three things, you're gonna be miles ahead of 95 or 96% of all the retail traders there are out there. This will turn your trading around if you're able to follow this. And how does it give us an edge? Well, our trades are being supported by institutional buying and selling. This is a big deal. Very important. We're just trading what they're trading. Now, we're following in their footsteps. We're not going to beat them, but we can follow them. The stocks will be outperforming the SPY. That's the relative strength, relative weakness, and they are moving in a direction of the overall market. So this is our edges in how we trade high probability trade setups. I've been doing this for a good long time now, over 15 years, and I think I have a really good idea of what works, at least what works for me and works consistently. Okay, moving ahead here. This is to talk about the trades that we take, what the criteria is that I look for on any particular trade that I'm going to either post in the room or any trades that we're going to, that I send out in alerts. I go through what this is called a trade funnel. This is basically a virtual funnel where this is the thought process I go through. And this is the one thing that a lot of traders miss. When you're going to go long a stock, even if it's going to be intraday, but maybe going to last all day, or you want to have the ability to take it overnight or out a couple of weeks, you've got to look at your daily chart first. The daily chart is what dictates what direction you're going to trade in. You do never want to trade a long against a daily chart that's bearish. Trying to catch bottoms or whatever you're trying to do, this is dangerous. You want to make sure that the daily chart is bullish if you take the trade. And then you use the 5-minute chart to find the proper entry for it. In other words, that needs to be lined up bullish as well. But make sure you look at the daily chart first. So I look at that. If I find a good daily chart for long, it's bullish. Okay, I move down to the next thing. Is the stock trending today? Is the market trending today? If they're both trending up, it becomes even a better setup. Then I look at the compass indicators or the SPY super system indicators to let me know whether the institutions are in the trade or not. This is what I'm going to show you, how we identify that. This needs to be true. The compass system or the SPY super system needs to tell me that the institutions are in there trading. If this is not true, I can't take the trade. This would bust the whole thing. But now if I find those three things are true, then I look for stocks with relative strength and relative weakness. Let's say I've got 5 or 6 stocks that meet these criteria. So then I find the one with the best relative strength and relative weakness. And I'm looking at technical analysis, of course, to see if there's any nearby support or resistance, but this is important. Now, if this is true, then I want to try to enter near support or resistance. And if the stock is away from there, it's not close to it, I can just put an alert on my chart to let me know when it gets close to it. All right, so that is the trade setup funnel. I have a video on this. I've got a video on Heiken-Ashi candles. I have about 30 videos that you can see to go over all the strategies we use and all of the criteria for setups for trades. All right, and this is just the funnel method written out just to emphasize the stock to be traded must have a daily and 5-minute chart aligned. All right, very important. I can't tell you how many people they'll tell me they'll take a look at a trade. I like this trade long. I'll look at it. I bring up the daily chart. The daily chart is bearish. They haven't looked at the daily chart. It's really, really important that you look at the daily chart. And then the compass indicators, the SPY super system indicators, must align in the direction of the trade. If we're going long, the institutions need to be long this stock or the index. They need to be long it. And then the relative strength and relative weakness. Now on the 5-minute chart, this is a really important thing to know about. There's a thing called the VWAP, an indicator called the volume weighted average price. Now, this is an indicator that all the institutions use. You should never be trading a stock long that's below the VWAP, and you should not be trading a stock short that's above the VWAP on the 5-minute chart. This does not apply to the daily chart. This is an indicator that's for the 5-minute chart. All right, and I keep saying this all the time, have patience. Please have patience. All right, now in the room and in the alert service, this is the kind of strategies we use. We do straight calls and straight puts. This is obviously the most common option strategies you can use. I also use debit spreads using weekly options expiration. All right, we put a debit spread on the triple Qs tonight on the NASDAQ bullishly. We did a call debit spread overnight, kind of a speculative type trade, but it's a debit spread, and debit spreads reduce the cost of the trade. But I use the weekly options expiration. I use Friday's expiration for my debit spreads. I also do a thing called time spreads, and this is I only use over earnings. This is a non-directional trade. What we do is we capture what's called a volatility crush. When the earnings come out, the volatility in the options gets taken out. In other words, before earnings come out, the market makers jack up the prices on the options on the puts and the calls because they don't know which way the stock's going to go, or how far it's going to go. So they basically increase the option prices to protect themselves. Once the earnings come out, then they take that volatility out of there. And this time spread setup, it's calendar spread basically, but we call it time spread. This captures the volatility crush, and we make money as the volatility comes out of the premium. It's basically a non-directional trade. We don't care which way the stock goes. Then we have what's called a weekly ATM strategy. We have one of these on Bank of America right now. This is a strategy that's a little bit longer term. We sell puts on a stock that's neutral to bullish. We sell puts every week against the stock at the money, and then we take a longer dated put out, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks out in time to protect it and create a spread so that we reduce our margin requirements. This is a really, really nice strategy that if you do it on the right stocks, it can bring you in some pretty nice premium week after week after week, and the risk is relatively small on these. And then I do credit spreads to capture premium over a few weeks. We just did a credit spread today on Tesla out to February 14th. Now the last thing that we do, and this is called the SPY Super System. This is a strategy we use inside the room. I don't alert on these because these are too quick, but we call it the SPY Super System, and we trade the SPY, the Qs, or the IWM off a 5-minute chart. It's not really scalping, but they're fairly quick trades, and I'll show you exactly how well this works. And the reason I did this strategy, or why I put this strategy in, is all our other trades are swing type trades, so there's not an awful lot. Some days we don't have any trades, and a lot of traders want to trade. As we mentioned, they're impatient. This gives you the ability to trade during the day when the setup is correct and make some money using the SPY, Qs, or IWM, trading this one specific setup. But there's no time to do alerts on them. They're too quick. But I do have a video on how this is structured. And I'll show you the results we've had with this, which is really, really outstanding on the SPY Super System that we trade. All right. As far as the alert service is concerned, it's basically designed for day trades and short-term swing trades. Short-term swing trades would be stocks trades overnight. They could even be just during the day. If you pick them up at 10 in the morning, get out at 3 in the afternoon. I consider that a swing trade, but it's a short-term swing trade, even though it's intraday. And we go out sometimes as far as 3 weeks in time, and we hold the trade to go out 3 weeks in time. Miami, for the SPY setup, you call up in the room. Could it be traded on the ES futures instead of the SPY? Absolutely. You can trade the ES off the SPY, the NQ off the Qs, or the RTY off the Russell. Yeah, you can trade the futures. I mean, basically they mimic each other, and you can also trade the SPX and the NDX if you want off of those. All right. So again, it's designed for traders. The alert service designed for traders who can't watch the market all day, who don't want to. I watch it all day. Listen, I sit in front of my computer. I love doing this. I love looking at charts. I love trading. I've been doing it for a long time, but I'm trying to offer some services to folks who want to learn to trade, but maybe can't trade all day. I have a lot of folks who come into the room for an hour or two in the morning, an hour or two in the afternoon. Might not have any swing trades, but they'll pick off some SPY Super System trades. Okay, and by the way, any trades that I call out in the room or send out alerts on, I take those trades with in my trading account with real money. I mean, this is what I'm trading. I'm trading exactly what I'm telling you I'm trading. And I use Tradier. I don't use Thinkorswim, but I use Thinkorswim for the platform for the SPY Super System that I load up there. But you do need to understand that you don't have to trade off of Thinkorswim. You can trade off of you can trade off of Ninja. You can trade off of Scott Trade. You can trade off of Tastyworks. You can trade off anything you want to. And we do this by sending out alerts on the highest probability trade setups we see. We do this by identifying when the institutions are in the trade and when the market internals are in our favor. Now, if the market internals are neutral, I'll still take trades if the institutions are in them. But if the market internals are in my favor, that even gives me a bigger edge. And then I do some more detailed technical analysis on each potential trade to identify what I want to trade. All right, and this is just an equity curve. We need to update this one. This is from March 23 to June 24. This is the equity curve off the alert service. if you put $2,000 into each one of the trades that we took. Just listen, that's an arbitrary number. Some people they trade way less than that. Some people trade way more than that, but I have to have some sort of a baseline I can follow. So this is what that equity curve is. All right, now we're going to talk about Heiken-Ashi candles right here. Before I go into all the results and the details, I want to talk about Heiken-Ashi candles. Is there a lot of anybody here who trades Heiken-Ashi candles quite often? Just pop a yes in the question box if you trade using Heiken-Ashi candles. Not necessarily all the time, but you're familiar with it and you do try to use them. Because a lot of people don't. They might have heard of them, but they don't use them. Brad, yeah, you do. Good. Okay. All right, good. So I'm gonna run through these, how we use them and how I use them with the compass system. This is a Heiken-Ashi. These are Heiken-Ashi candlesticks, right? These are different than your regular candlestick. There's some significant differences to these. But what you notice here on a bearish candlestick, you have flat tops. The tops on bearish candlesticks will have no wicks on the top. Right? This is telling you you've got a bearish candlestick. You can have tails on the bottom, but you're not going to have any wicks on the top. So these are bearish candles. These are bullish candles, right? See, flat bottoms. They say no lower shadow. They're flat bottoms. These are bullish candles using Heiken-Ashi. And then when you start getting wicks and tails, these are obviously neutral ones. We don't have a direction. So this is what they look like. Now, one thing to notice is each one of the candlesticks, when a candlestick forms, it forms, the beginning of it is always in the middle of the previous candle. It takes two candles to make up a Heiken-Ashi candle. So this middle of this candle is where it's going to show up, right there. Each one will always be in the middle. But again, key thing to remember, flat tops bearish, flat bottoms bullish, okay? What we're looking for is we're looking for a way to easily identify reversals in the price action. In other words, if you like a stock long and it's pulling back, you want it to pull back to a support level like the VWAP, and then bounce off of that VWAP, and you want to make a confirmation that bounce is going to work. That's where you use these Heiken-Ashi candles. Notice this is bearish coming down, and we start getting candles that have no flat top, no flat bottom, wicks and tails, wicks and tails, wicks and tails. Now here, you notice we go from a wick and a tail on this candle to a flat bottom. That's called the Heiken-Ashi reversal. That's a Heiken-Ashi reversal candle right there. We're going to talk about this. This tells you that you have a confirmation that the downtrend has been broken and now it's going to go back up again. And you notice you keep getting flat bottoms. This takes two candles to make this, which means the Heiken-Ashi candles have inherently built in the confirmation that you want for a reversal. If you're trying to do it with regular candles, it's much more difficult. All right, so that's what they look like. This is a British pound, Japanese yen. Doesn't make any difference. Candles are like this on everything. All right, so I'm going to just kind of go through just real quickly. You'll get this on the replay, and then we're going to talk more about it. But it's important to know about this. If you haven't used them for technical analysis, this is something you want to research and you want to use. Heiken-Ashi candles means average bar in Japanese. It's Japanese, just like a lot of the candlesticks come from. It means average bar in Japanese. It smooths out the price action, so identifying trends and reversal is clearer, since they eliminate a lot of the noise and make it easy to see trends and stay in the trade throughout the trend, improving your results. You're going to eliminate a lot of noise, which means you won't be jumping in and out of trades as quickly as you normally would if you were using regular candles. Again, bullish Heiken-Ashi candles have flat bottoms. We just talked about that. And bearish Heiken-Ashi candles have flat tops. This is important. If we look at Heiken-Ashi candles, this is important to know. Bullish trends will have flat bottom candles one after another, as we saw in that slide. And bearish trends will have flat top candles one after another. Then you're looking for a reversal in that trend. So if you're in a trend short and you're getting flat top candles, then you're looking for a situation where you go to a flat bottom candle, in other words, a bullish candle, to exit that trade. You want to get out at that point. All right. Generally, you can stay with a bullish trend as long as no flat top Heiken-Ashi candles appear, indicating a lull or reversal in the trend. We'll look at some of those. Again, a reversal in a bullish trend. This is what we're trying to identify here. A reversal in a bullish trend will have a flat bottom Heiken-Ashi candle, followed by smaller doji Heiken-Ashi candles, followed by a flat top bearish Heiken-Ashi candle. So that would be a bullish candle, then basically a compression, and then a bearish candle. All right. Again, the doji candles indicate momentum is slowing, and we know this from just regular candles, and that would tell you to start to take profits. This is just kind of a caveat here. One thing to be aware of on the price of the stock, Heiken-Ashi, when you're using Heiken-Ashi candles on your chart, the price that the Heiken-Ashi chart is showing you won't be the actual price of the stock at the time. It will be a few pennies off because it's made up of two candles. It'll be close, but you would just look at your trading platform to see what the actual price is. It's not really significant, but it's just to be aware of it, because I get questions all the time. You know, how come this is trading 2 cents lower than what the charts is showing? Okay, again, so there are other nuances to using Heiken-Ashi candles in trading, but again, try looking at some of the Heiken-Ashi candle charts. Put them on your chart. You can do it very easily. We'll talk about this now. Right? When we're talking about reversal, and this is the Heiken-Ashi reversals that's probably the one most important use of Heiken-Ashi candles, is to be able to identify a trend reversal. Because if you're in the trend, you probably want to get out if it's reversing. And if you're looking to get into a trend and it's been coming down and you want to go long, you're looking to get in on a reversal. So once you have a valid Heiken-Ashi reversal, the first thing that needs to be true, in other words, if you have bearish candles coming down and now you get a flat bottom candle, the candle height should be at least as large, preferably larger than the prior candles. And all that means is if you've got a downtrend, it's being created by fairly large Heiken-Ashi candles, they're red with flat tops, then if you get a green candle with a flat bottom, that candle needs to be fairly large. You don't want to try to catch a reversal on a tiny little flat bottom green candle. You want to wait for it to maybe put in 2 or 3 candles. The size is important. Okay, and this just goes along with, check for support and resistance, know how close you are to that. That's obvious. That's just some technicals that you would do for any trade. Again, take stock with relative strength. Bollinger Bandwidth expanding, basically that means it's coming out of compression. That's something that you look as well. All right, and obviously you want to know that the institutions are in there. Again, I obviously use the SPY super system for that. Okay, so I think you're going to find these Heiken-Ashi reversals are going to be very profitable, and I think it's going to this is going to, if you don't use them, this is going to help your trading. Just kind of an introduction to Heiken-Ashi in a little clearer format here. Again, they're Japanese. They combine open close data from the previous period with the open high low close from the current period. So it's taking 2 regular candles to make a Heiken-Ashi candle. All right. This fusion minimizes the noise, as we talked about, so you get a clearer depiction of the trend. Again, Heiken translate to average, Ashi to pace, so it's the average pace. Unlike traditional candlesticks, Heiken-Ashi don't follow the typical 1, 2, 3 candlestick reversal patterns. It's important to understand that Heiken-Ashi candles on a bullish candle, if you just look at this graphic right here, these are bullish candles. You see the flat bottoms, see the wicks on the top. If you get a wick like this on a regular candlestick, these tend to be considered bearish, because what you're doing is the market's moving up and you get sellers coming in. When you get a wick on a bullish Heiken-Ashi candle, that is even more bullish. And if you got a tail on a bearish one, that's even more bearish. Okay? Now, here's the advantages. Again, we want to talk about this. We'll talk about the long hollow candles indicate strong buying pressure. We'll show some of those. But the whole idea of Heiken-Ashi candles you're trying to find a trend, and you're trying to eliminate noise, and that's what this does. We're talking about the absence of shadows on the top and the bottom. I just told you about that. The wick on top of a bullish candle is even more bullish, and a tail on the end of a bearish candle is even more bearish. Unlike your regular candles, that's a big difference from what you see on regular candles. All right, so understanding trends with Heiken-Ashi, again, I emphasize this is important. A flat bottom candle in an uptrend signals a strong visual of the current trend. So you can see the the bullish candles here. Flat bottom, then you're getting some dojis here, and then you go to a bearish candle right here. That's a reversal to the downside. But see how small these are compared to these. So you wouldn't take that as a short. And now you get another flat bottom candle to the upside. This is a continuation of this trend right here, or a reversal of this bearish trend. So this continues on up. So this is a bullish trend, and you can see the big green candles with the flat bottoms. This is a beautiful trend. Very easy to see the trend here. And if you're in this trend, this is probably where you would get out, right here. You know, if you could ride it up here and then get out, but this is where I would get out if I had this much profits in the trade. Again, you want to examine support and resistance levels. This is just technical information. If you're in a trade, you obviously got to know where your next resistance level is, so you can start to get out before it gets through there or gets to it. And again, aligned with the market trend. Okay, this covers pretty much what we just talked about here. The Heiken-Ashi candles are going to identify the momentum, waning momentum, more quickly than regular candles. You'll see it pretty fast. All right, so again, this just is a recap of it, and I'm going to show some of these now. It smooths out price action, reducing noise. It makes identifying the trends much easier. It improves identifying confirmation of trends and trend reversals. This is really important. Finding a reversal. A lot of people love to trade breakouts. If you're looking for a stock that's breaking out through some sort of resistance level, a lot of times they'll fail. If you don't get into that trade till after you've got a Heiken-Ashi candle reversal or Heiken-Ashi reversal candle confirming that breakout, you're going to be a lot better off. You maybe get in just a little bit later than you normally would, but you're going to have far fewer failure of the breakout. And again, it helps identify potential exits when the candle bodies shrink or reverse. Like I got a couple here I'm going to show you. Then I'm going to go to some live charts on my TC2000. Okay, this is just a chart of Uber right here. Okay, so here's Uber, here's Uber. This is Uber. This is standard candle. This is regular candles on Uber. All right, you can see the big bullish up movement, gap up here, and a nice move to the upside. This is Uber with Heiken-Ashi candles. Notice that the gap is gone. Heiken-Ashi candles don't produce gaps because if one candle always starts in the next in the halfway up the next candle. All right. So this is the trade. This is the trade in Uber. So you can see here. Here's your Heiken-Ashi reversal. This is where you go long. You stay long, stay long, stay long, stay long. Still long. You still got flat bottoms here, and then you're starting to flush to the side. But these are tiny. These are not. This is a reversal candle, but that's a tiny reversal candle. And then this is a continuation of the original trend. So this is, you know, if you're in this, this is probably where you're going to get out. You're going to take your profits right here. But then we started with another bullish reversal right here as we start to slide up again. So that's the difference between this, see the noise on this thing, and here. It's much easier to see. All right. Now I'm going to look at some live Heiken-Ashi candles here. So bear with me a minute. I'm going to pull over my TC2000 charts because it's easier to see on there than on Thinkorswim, just because I've got them structured better. So let me show you that. All right, so here comes my TC2000 chart, and I'm going to switch this over to daily. All right, so this is what I use for my charting. I use the compass system, SPY super system to identify institutions, and this is what I use for my charting. This is GLD. All right, so this is a regular GLD candles here. If I switch to my Heiken-Ashi candles, which is right here, what you see on GLD today is you see this, and you have this is a Heiken-Ashi candle with a wick and a tail, right? This is a flat bottom. This is a Heiken-Ashi reversal candle on GLD. Now we had some more back over here. You see this one here, and then a Heiken-Ashi candle, flat bottom, flat bottom, flat bottom. It basically is telling you that this was in an uptrend. So you can go back and look at these as far as you want, but this is on a daily chart right here. You see this Heiken-Ashi reversal here to the downside, breaking down through this white line is an 8 exponential moving average I use. Here's the flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top. There's a reversal, Heiken-Ashi reversal. This is where you would get out. So that's what those shows you. So I'm going to show you a couple from today's charting that I just took a quick look at after the market closed. This is EFX. So let's look at a regular chart in EFX. It's a regular chart in EFX right here. It looks pretty good. We had a nice little move up, but we get some resistance right here, bounced up through it. All right, so if I go to Heiken-Ashi on this today, see what I've got. Okay, his was a reversal here. This would have been a beautiful entry. This purple line is a 200-day moving average. You move through there, flat bottoms all the way up, all right? Then a little bit of chop here. So you'd be getting out, and now we're back to a Heiken-Ashi reversal to the upside. This is on gold. This is telling on EFX. I'm sorry. This is telling us that EFX has now become bullish. All right. So if I look at the regular candles on EFX, here's what I see. If I look at the Heiken-Ashi candles on this, this is what I see. Just much more easy to identify the trend and take out the noise. All right. One more bullish one, right, that I spotted was CALM, CALM, CalMain. All right, and we can go back and you can see where these candles, when you get flat bottom candles like this, especially, and I color code my candles on TC2000 to reflect a compression break or a Bollinger Band break when compression is expanding. If they're blue, I've got an expansion of the Bollinger Bands, which means that the stock is breaking out of compression. So this was a Heiken-Ashi reversal right there. Notice you got like 5 or 6 candles in a row. This is a Heiken-Ashi reversal to the downside. You've got about 5 or 6 candles in a row. Most of the time you get multiple candles once you have a Heiken-Ashi reversal. Not all the time. Some of these won't work, but most of the time they will, and you can then stay in the trend as long as you see that. All right, so here's CALM today. You notice we came down. We put in basically a Heiken-Ashi reversal candle right there, in there, and now we've got a big blue one today with a compression break. It's a nice setup right here on Heiken-Ashi candles. If I go and look at it, here's the actual chart. All right, this is the chart. So we look over time, you can see that this is a pretty nice chart. It moves up, it pulls back. It moves up, it pulls back. But it's basically curling down and moving up right now. So pretty nice, and we got a Heiken-Ashi reversal to give us some confidence that this trade is likely to help, likely to work. And one other long was KDP, Dr. Pepper. Here's a big downtrend here. Notice the Heiken-Ashi reversals. See how smooth that is? Here's where you get out. Another Heiken-Ashi reversal to the downside. You take it down here. This is where you get out. Now we're starting putting in a bullish reversal here, Heiken-Ashi reversal on the bullish side, right here in this candle today. Right. So let's look at what the regular chart looks like. Here's the regular chart. You see what we've got? We had a big move up and a big move down. We had some selling, but notice it held this red line. That's the 50-day moving average right there. Okay, that's really important. On my chart, I have the 100 is the blue, the 200 is the purple, and the 100 is the red. So this is how I do technical analysis on these. But this is a Heiken-Ashi reversal to the upside. And I had a couple here to the downside, I think. EXTR is EXTR, Heiken-Ashi reversal to the downside right there. See the flat, and then we get all this moves here, and then a flat bottom, a flat top. That's a Heiken-Ashi reversal, Heiken-Ashi continuation. If I look at the regular chart on this, this is what it looks like. All right, big flush candle. So now we're getting basically, it looks like we're going to get a continuation to the downside. So I look at Heiken-Ashi and I see it looks pretty good. So that's a decent short, EXTR, decent short, and it corresponds to this level right here. It's below the 100 and it's got room down to the 200. Nice short for EXTR. Microsoft just reported. Here's their report after earnings, big gap down. Kind of get clobbered overnight. What's it look like in Heiken-Ashi? Remember, no gaps. See, we got a Heiken-Ashi reversal right here. We would need to see this continue tomorrow before we would take it. We don't want to take it off of earnings, but we definitely got a Heiken-Ashi reversal to the downside. See how well it worked here? Heiken-Ashi reversal, move down, goes flat and continues on down. All right, so that's Microsoft, and here's AVT, another Heiken-Ashi reversal candle right here to the downside. They're kind of a choppy stock, but I just want to point out the use of Heiken-Ashi candles, and this is what you got here. I wouldn't trade this stock. It's just too choppy, but that's a nice setup right there. And iRobot, the last one I'm going to look at. Regular chart right here, right? Again, a little line right there. That's a horizontal support line. Resistance line. I look at this. Let's look at what it looks like with Heiken-Ashi candles on it. There we go. All right, big move up here. Heiken-Ashi bullish reversal right there. And now we've got basically a continuation to the downside off of iRobot. Okay, little candles, and these are bigger candles to the downside. So that would be a short. Okay, so that's what we're looking at on the daily chart. Now we can do 5-minute charts as well. Yeah, I have performance metrics check on the SPY super system. Yeah, I'll get to those just 1 second. What's the main intraday chart I use for the SPY super system? 5 minutes. I don't use smaller than that. I use a 5-minute chart. Yeah, and I'll show you some of those. Let me just switch over to the SPY here today. And let me switch to the 5-minute the Heiken-Ashi on the 5-minute chart. All right, so I'll switch this Heiken-Ashi to 5 minutes. All right, so this is Heiken-Ashi on the SPY. This is the close of the day. Let me get rid of the post market and just goes to regular hours. All right, so here's the SPY today. Right now, this yellow line right here is the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. And again, we trade long above the VWAP and below, and short below the VWAP. Now the SPY was pretty strong today. It was up decently, so we were looking to trade this long. This is one of the trades I took right here. See you see the Heiken-Ashi candles with a flat bottom right here, flat bottom, but I'm not taking it until it goes through the VWAP. It went through the VWAP right here. This is a flat bottom candle. This is the trade I took, and I rode this thing up until right here. All right, it's a pretty nice move in the SPY. That's the SPY super system we use, and I'm going to show you some more of those. But this is what it looks like on Heiken-Ashi candles. All right, if I switch to regular candles, this is what the SPY looks like. You see how much noise there is in here? It's much noisier, much choppiness. Where if I go to Heiken-Ashi, I can see it clearly. So this is what I use to try to enter my SPY super system trades during the day. And I also trade off the 15. This is the 15 right here. And this was another one I took as it came down here and touched the this 15 off of the this Heiken-Ashi candle right here, reversal. I took it right here for just a short trade. Right, but that's what we trade off of for the SPY super system. We trade SPYs, the Qs, the IWM, and we're looking for using the VWAP, and I'll show you that on the TC2000 charts. I mean, on the Compass system charts as we do that. All right, any questions on that? Okay, so those are Heiken-Ashi candles, and that's how to use them. Now we're going to talk about the SPY super system. This is the last thing I'm going to cover. After this will be the regular trades, the swing trades, but I've had a lot of interest in the SPY super system, which is trading intraday trades quickly on the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM, and with good reason. We've had really good results with this, but it's very specific. It's the criteria. You have to stick to the criteria on this. All right, so this is talking about the room trades. This is the trades we took in the room itself in 2023. Just to show you the results we had, we made 60,000 on 2,000 in per trade. So that was a good year in 2023. And I just said if you had 50,000 accounts, you'd be using 4% of the account balance for each trade. At the end of the year, that would have been down to less than 2% because the account went from 50,000 to 110,000 in a year. In 2024, profits, same criteria, 2,000 per trade, about 55,000, just slightly less. Again, a lot of this depends on what kind of a market we've got to trade. Okay, all right, and I'm gonna talk about some of the trades that we've done. These are not SPY super system trades. I'm gonna get into those. These are our regular trades, the swing trades that went out on the alert service and we took in the room. And the reason I'm showing this is the results are good. Obviously, we have good results. But what I'm trying to show you is what your expected return is on trades that we take. We're not going to get 500 and 600% on trades. What you're going to do is you're going to grind out 25, 30, 35, 40%, sometimes 10%, sometimes as high as 96. But most of the time, it's going to fall in the 20 to 50% range profit per trade. Just depends, obviously, on what the market's doing. So this was January, 20 and 2, 90% win rate. February, this was our best month last year, 24 wins, 2 losses, 92% win rate, 11,745 on 2,000 in each trade. On the alerted trades, we had 20 and 2. We have less trades alerted than we have in the room because I can't alert on trades that are too quick, or if I take a trade at 10 minutes to 4, I can't really alert on that. Doesn't give the alert service time enough to react to it. So 20 and 2 in February, again, 69.30 profit, 11,745. And I'll go through these pretty quickly, but it just the profitability we've had is very, very good. We stick around between 85, 89% win rate. Sometimes it'll drop down to 80, but this was May, and you can see the results in May, 49, 79, 57, 36 in the room. And here's June. So, and we do have losing months. Let's be clear. I've been trading now the room has been open 37 months. This is our 37th month. We've had 3 losing months, running from about $695 loss to about a $1,200 loss. That's about the biggest loss we've taken in any month. This month right now, I think we're actually down about $300, but we haven't taken a lot of trades. All right, here's our July trades. Again, 22 and 4, 85% win rate. The alerts, we only had 12 and 4, so only a 75% win rate, but up $3,300. So pretty good. This is what we're interested in here, August. So we'll just sail through some of these. In August trades, we took 17 and 2, 89% win rate, up 4,500, up 2,400 in the room. August is a tough month to trade. So is December. A lot of people on vacation and away for holidays in December, so you don't get a lot of trades. Now, to talk about the alerts, just so you know what you're going to get on the alert service. If you become a member of the alert service, you're going to get an alert that's going to show you what the stock symbol is, going to tell you what option strike price to take, what the option expiration date to take, and about how much to pay for the option within a reason. You know, could say $1 to $1.05. Right? You get an alert when you enter the trade. You'll get at least one when we exit the trade. If I send an alert out that says we want to get out, set your sell order at this price, I may adjust that either up or down. If I wake up in the morning and the market's gapped up, and I'll send an alert out to say, okay, raise your option price to this to take a bigger profit. Or if it's going against us and we have to exit, then I'll send another one out to tell you to lower it down. But you'll always get an alert for getting into the trade, an alert for getting out of the trade. And how do we achieve these stunning results? Again, this is because we have the software to tell us this. We're able to identify when institutions are driving a trade and when the market internals are in our favor. So when they're both in our favor, those are going to be the best. I will take, as I said, I will take trades when the institutions are in the trade, but the market internals are neutral. I won't trade against the market internals, but if they're neutral, I'll still take a trade. And we do it, the most important thing we do is we check multiple time frames on momentum, trend, and money flow. The momentum to me is the most critical one. I need to know that the momentum is moving up across multiple time frames and that institutions are driving it up. When this is the case, then the likelihood that institutions are moving the trade is very high, in the 90s. All right, so this is what the software looks like. This is basically just a 5-minute chart on Tesla on the Thinkorswim platform. These are the indicators that we use. They're a little different now. I took this one away, but I'm sticking on these. But this is what it looks like. Green on here tells us bullish. Blue tells us bullish. Red tells us bearish. Yellow tells us bearish. So those are the only colors you can have. This happens to be a trade we took in Tesla. The indicators I'm going to show you here in just a minute what each one is. But this is what the compass system or the SPY super system looks like running on Thinkorswim, and you don't need to trade on Thinkorswim to use it. All right, now the SPY super system. This is the one that I wanted to talk about. These are the quick trades off the 5-minute chart on the IWM, the SPY, and the triple cubes. All right, and these are the results that we've had doing this. I didn't really introduce it to the room until July because we were doing swing trades. I didn't know that there'd be so much interest in doing these quicker type trades, but there was. So in July, we did a half a month with 16 and 0, 2,000 invested in each trade, produced 25.96. Now, I'm pointing these out in the room, but I can't post them. They're too quick. But I call them out and tell you, these results reflect the results that I had in these SPY super system trades. And these are the ones, and I told them in the room that I was getting in, but this doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the same results. I've had traders who have made more money than me and traders who made less money than me. Some of them won't take as many trades, some of them will take more trades. But this is the results that I had off of the system. August, 56, 6 and 2, 2,000 invested at 82.01. September, 40 wins, 3 losses, 2. So you can see there's a lot of trades because some days we might take 5 trades. September produced 71.32. October 33 and 4. So again, you got to be comfortable with day trading with these. 2,000 invested in each trade in October produced 48.31. Now it's important to understand you're only going to have one of these trades on at a time. There's not any big management problem trying to handle these trades. You're in one at a trade, you watch it, you get out when you have to watch it and take profits or take a loss whenever the criteria calls for it. But you only got one at a time and they're fairly short duration. Most of the time, 2 candles to maybe 10 candles, probably at the most if you get a nice trend. All right, so that's the SPY Super System. This is it in November, 54 and 5. I just added these recently. 93.70, big month in November. December, 69 and 15. And December was a really difficult month for swing trading, but I really took a lot of SPY Super System trades. 15 losses is quite a few, but still a little over 10 grand in profits in December. In January, I'm up, I think, about 8,900 right now. With 2,000 in each trade. Okay, so that's the SPY Super System trade. That's what is produced. Right back to the regular results, I just kind of plopped this in. So now you can see the results here in October. 17 wins, 3 losses. These are the swing trades, the alerted trades, the trades that are, most of them are overnight. Again, 74.48 and 6,063 in the room, 82%, 85%. You keep seeing these same percentages all the time. I'm just trying to show you the consistency of the trades. We have losses. You can see the losses here. Now, to understand the profits, the money I showed you here, all right, 74.48 does not include any of the SPY Super System. Right. So if we look at the October results here, we had 74.48. I pointed that out as that was the room trades, the swing trades, the ones that went out on alerts. For the Super System trades in the room, I had 33 and 4, 48.31 in October. Right, so I had both of these. This does not include this. This is separate. It's a standalone strategy that day traders will use. Obviously, you've got to be able to day trade because we have a lot of trades. There's a November room trades. Again, a couple of losses, 14 and 2, 88% win rate. Alerted trades, 93% win rate, up 78.03. Pretty good month in November. So here's a November SPY Super System results. 93.70 on the Super System, 73.93, which we related right here. I think it was adjusted up a little bit. I closed the trade that I hadn't closed when I put this in. So 93.70 and 73.93. There is your SPY Super System profits and the profits in the room. These are not included in each other. These are completely separate. All right. And here was the December Super. This is the last one I posted, the December Super System. 69 wins, 15 losses, 82% win rate. Produced 10,500, 2,000 in each trade. In the room, just 45.97 with 14 wins and 3 losses. Didn't have a lot of trades, only 17 trades in the trading room. 83% win rate. So that's the SPY Super System. Those are the results of it. And this just kind of recaps the fourth quarter of 2024 with the options room and the SPY Super System. October to December, SPY Super System, 156 wins and 24 losses. That's a lot of trades. So you got to be prepared to take a lot of trades. Like I said, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 a day. And 2,000 invested in each one produced 24,651. October through December of 2024 in the options room, 44 wins, 7 losses, considerably fewer trades, 86% win rate, produced 17,774. So the combination of those produced 42,425. Again, these results you should be able to mimic because these are exactly what the room did on the alerted trades that I sent out and what we posted. These are going to be different because these are my results based on the SPY Super System that I'm identifying as the day goes on. Okay. Let's see, Miami. With these metrics and trades in SPY Super System, would you say most are SPY and less Qs and IWM are more equally spread across the three? The criteria I use, Miami, for these SPY Super System trades is if the market is strong and the Qs are up 1% and the SPY's up 0.5% and the IWM is up 0.2%, I'm going to take the Qs unless I'm close to a resistance level. So I'm going to take the index that's performing the best taking into consideration how much room I've got to the upside of the downside to support a resistance. So I would say most of the trades, I would say so far, probably about 65% of the trades have been the SPY, maybe 25% have been Qs, and the rest IWM. The Qs are the most volatile. If you're going to trade, you're going to get your biggest movements in the Qs if you can catch on those. But you don't want to do that if it's not performing well. All right, so I'm going to show you the SPY Super System trades, some of the ones we took. I'm going to show you this on a compass system, on the SPY Super System. This is the SPY Super System. This is the Thinkorswim platform with the SPY Super System on it. But it looks really busy. But this is the key with the SPY Super System. You're only looking at one indicator, this one right here. This is the current time frame momentum. This tells you whether the stock is bearish, which is red and yellow, and bullish, which is blue. So you can see right here, this is the only one we're looking at. I also use the VWAP for support or resistance, the pink line, VWAP right here, volume weighted average price. And then I use the 15 EMA, which is right here. It's actually a smooth 15 EMA. It's a 15 EMA of an EMA. This is the other support resistance level. On this trade right here, this was a SPY. This is where we take the trade. You notice how it went from selling red to buying blue right here. See this pop above the VWAP right there? Now the compass system or the SPY Super System also puts in these particular arrows right here. These are called pop signals or pop out of the box. These tells you that the stock is breaking out of compression. So it gives you a little bit more impetus to get in a trade. So that's what we took it right here as it went blue. Notice it stayed blue and green all the way over to here. So we stayed in the trade, the current time frame momentum. We get in here, it's kind of moves sideways, and then it starts to rip up. Now as it moves up fast, we've got to keep an eye, because now our stop becomes the 15 and we're getting kind of far away. So you get a little anxious when you see a candle like that. And then you basically stay in it, and this is where I get out. If I had these in Heiken-Ashi candles, you wouldn't see that red. You'd see a Heiken-Ashi green candle with a look at a tail, but these were standard candles. But these are what we get out right there, all right? And that was $220 a contract profit. That's a pretty big win. This about pretty much as big as they get. Most of the time, you can only plan on getting about $60 to $120 a contract profit. So if you do 10 contracts, you know, I had traded today 3 of them. I had $120 in profits on over the 10 contracts, $1,200 profit. So pretty good. All right, so this is the setup. This is what we're looking for. All right, so here we go again with another one. This is a new template that comes with the software. If you get the SPY Super System software, you get this template. Oh, the original one, this comes with it. If you want, you can toggle them back and forth. This is for folks who just want to trade the SPY Super System. This shows you the current time frame momentum only. It doesn't show multi-time frame. This is multi-time frame. This is trend. All right, this one has been eliminated. So current time frame, multi-time frame, and trend. We're only looking at current time frame for the SPY Super System on a 5-minute chart. So that's what I put in here. Just that indicator with the VWAP and the 15 right here, right? And this is the actual oscillator, so you can see what kind of movement you're getting. This is a Laguerre modified, no divergence in here, just strictly momentum. So it shows you here what we've got. So this shows you this template. You notice if we were taking a trade here, we take it right here on this. You see it's moving across sideways. We go yellow to green, we take it right here on a bounce, and we get out right here. Okay, so these are some of the SPY Super System trades we've taken. Just to show you, I've identified them. I'm going to have a few that are not identified, so you can see if you can spot them yourselves. This is a break above here, right here above the 15 EMA, moves right there. Notice we buy everything. You can see here the institutions are buying the heck out of SPY right here. So we take it here and we ride this thing up. It stays above the 15 the whole way. 15's rising. This gets a little nerve-wracking, and then we get out right up here. You could have taken it off right here, but I took it off right here. $130 profit per contract on the SPY. Here's one on the IWM. You're asking about the IWM. Here's the IWM right here. Again, yellow selling, bullish, blue buying. This is where I take it as it breaks over the 15 right there. All right, and we get very little action on this, but the stock price does stay above the 15, which is my stop. If the IWM broke down and closed below the 15 on one of these candles, I would take the trade off. So that's my downside risk is just below where I get in. That's why it's so important to enter these trades right as close to support as resistance as you possibly can, because it's going to reduce your losses by a lot. Because you're not really going to have anything go against you very much unless you get like a big flushing candle. All right, so this we stayed in here. It just moved up, but not very much. It was IWM can be fairly docile, but we took it off right here. And you notice it went to yellow on the next candle. It was still green the whole way across, but this is where we took it off. $90 a contract, not bad. This is a SPY super system on the IWM to the short side. Again, compression, everything's selling. So we don't just take it because it's selling. What we're looking for is we're looking for a compression break. We're looking for a break to the downside right there off the VWAP. You see the VWAP? Pink line breaks down right there with this arrow right there. We take it right there. It's red. We stay in it. We stay in it. We stay in it as long as it stays below the VWAP. Now it needs to stay below the 15. You just ride this thing down, and then we get out right here. As it starts to compress, tiny little candles, we get out right here. And it switches to blue, we're out of the trade. $120 a contract. This was a big one. This was a SPY super system. This was a huge one. We took this here as it went to yellow. It was already yellow and red. We take it here as it breaks below the VWAP and the 15. We enter here. It just moves sideways. Now we're watching the 15. We want this to stay below the 15, which it does. Stays below it, pops above it, closes below it, closes below it, stays below it, and then we flush down. This is a pivot point right here, this white line that the compass system or the SPY super system puts on the chart. It's something I'm very cautious of when I get to that level. I look to see if it bounces off of this. It flushed right through. Big trade, $280 a project, probably one of the biggest trades I've had with the SPY super system off of here. All right, and that was on the SPY. Okay, and this is another one, same thing again. So you'll see these repeat and repeat and repeat. All right, this is what the chart looks like. Is red selling, blue buying. Okay, well, it's gone to buying. Where do we get in? As soon as it pops above the VWAP, we could have taken it here. We took it right here as it broke above the VWAP and the 15, and we ride this thing up. And we rode this for quite a long time. Get out up here for $150 a contract. A lot of days when you have choppy action, you're not going to get this kind of long-term moves. You're going to get a move up and then a move down, move up and move down. So you have to snatch your profits more quickly. Here's a SPY trader. I didn't identify here where I get into this, but here is see how it goes from red to blue here, selling to buying, and it's breaking above the 15. But look at it's right at the VWAP. I don't take it here. I'm right at resistance. I don't take it here. This is where I take it. As it breaks through resistance on the spot on the VWAP, and I'm still blue. This is where I take the trade, and I ride it up, and this is where I get out of the trade right there, like 5 candles. Same thing in the IWM right here. If you can see it, where you would take this trade. See here, do I want to take it here? No, I'm too far away from the VWAP and the 15. I wait for compression. I wait for compression. I get compression. Now it's coming across here. It goes to green. This is where I take the trade, either right here or right here. As it goes to green, and then I ride this thing up. Doesn't go very far, but it stays in it, and this is where I'd be getting out right here. Okay. And here's another SPY trade here. This one, you can actually, I traded this both ways. I traded it to the downside right here as it was red, selling. I took it as it broke below the VWAP, took it down, all right, and it puts in flat top, a bearish candle, bearish candle, bearish candle, then I get out right here. And then it goes to blue to buying, and it's breaking above the VWAP right here. So now I look at and blue, so this is where I enter this trade, above the 15. I enter it here, and I take it long. And then I take it up and I get to this pivot point and I get out of the trade right here as it hits this white line. Again, it stayed green the whole way, so it was all buy. Right, so here's just some more, just so you can see what they look like. Look at the colors, see what this market's doing. What do we see here? We see buying here. We go to selling. The selling takes place right here. As this price breaks below the 15, we can take it here. But you got to be careful. Okay, the 15 is your stop. So this needs to stay below the 15, which it did, and then it flushed down, and then you get out. You take your profits. You don't have to wait for it to go back to the 15. You want to take profits once you've got them locked in. All right, so those are all the SPY super system trades. I'm going to show you some of the trades that we've taken using the SPY super system on regular on regular charts. These would be swing trades, swing type trades. This was Palantir right here. This was a daily chart on Palantir, stock compressing, market going back between colors. The multi-time frame momentum was still green. The trend was green. I wait for this compression break. I take it here. Looks good. And I get out right here. Just basically a 2-day trade for 31%. All right, so this is how you use it on the daily chart. Here's another one. Everything is green down here. I have yellow here. I'm a little concerned, but I like the breakout. So I took it, even though this was yellow, anticipating a break to the upside, which I got. 58%, 2 days. That was a call debit spread on 12. CRM, same thing. Same kind of a scenario. It's yellow here, but it's green here. So I take it, looking for a break. I get a break. I'm out 29% profit in 2 days. This was Lulu. This was a short. This was earnings. I didn't take it on earnings. I waited and see what it did. It compressed. You see how it went from buying to selling here on the multi-time frame momentum. This was multi-time frame momentum. This is current time frame momentum. This is where it was selling. We take it right here as it breaks down on the daily chart, and we write it down. These are for swing type trades. Workday here, another good one. Again, blue here looks good. Tough to take here, but I did take it here because this went from blue to yellow, but this was still giving me plenty of blue, plenty of buying, and the trend was still also good, solid. So I took it. It broke out of this dynamic compression zone. This is a shaded area that the compass system produces, and the SPY super system produces, showing a compression break. So I took it here in the trade for 5 days, 30%. Okay, let's see. Miami, when I start a SPY intraday trade, if it immediately reverses, is your initial stop a set amount or is it breaks in EMA? No, it's not a set amount. I'm trading. You should not have stops based on percentage losses or dollar losses, because if you and I are looking at the same trade, you may get in at one price, I may get in at a different price. If you set your stop at a certain dollar amount and I set at a certain dollar amount, we're getting out at different times. What we want to do is we want to exit if it breaks below the 15 on the VWAP and closes below it for a long, or close it above it for a short. That's where you want to exit. But give the candle time to progress. Make sure you're not getting out when a candle just breaks below the 15 if it hasn't closed yet. Give it some time. Why not use the Heiken-Ashi candle in the SPY system? I do, Bob. I mean, I when I showed those charts out there, I use the Heiken-Ashi candle when I'm using this. Hold on just 1 second. Sorry about that. My wife's coming home. My dog's all excited. But yeah, as far as I do use Heiken-Ashi candles. Now I use Heiken-Ashi candles to get into the trade, and I use regular candles to get out of the trade. And I have a whole video on that, how that works. Those are all regular candles, Miami, on those ones that I'm showing here. This one right here, when the dots are in the middle, these are Heiken-Ashi. But the whole point here is to identify the trades. Typically, when you're going to get into a trade, you want to try to use Heiken-Ashi if you possibly can. All right, to get into the trade, and then regular candles to get out of the trade. But it's not that significant when you're just looking at setups here. You're trying to see what the setup is as far as the 15. You can use them. You can use Heiken-Ashi. Some people don't use Heiken-Ashi. Some of them use regular candles. This is MDT. These are regular candles, right? See, yellow selling, buying right here, buying here on the current multi-time frame momentum. Buy it right here. Stay in this for a swing trade, 25% profit. And these are just standard candles. What I usually do when I'm looking for swing trades, what I usually do, you look for the web link. If you go to the chat box, there's links right there to the offers I'm going to show you here in just a minute. But what I typically do is Heiken-Ashi on when I'm looking for swing trades. I look for Heiken-Ashi candles on the daily chart, and then I make note of those trades, make note of those stocks, and then I look to enter the next day when I can get a good entry off the daily chart, off the 5-minute chart. But I'm looking at Heiken-Ashi candles on the daily chart to find the setups. Okay, this was a McDonald's trade, so you can see what we're talking about here. The compass system, the SPY super system, tells you that they're buying the heck out of McDonald's here, and these were a daily chart. It breaks out of this compression zone. We buy it here, sell it here. Amazon, and this is a 5-minute chart. This is trading off the 5-minute chart right here for Amazon. Now it was yellow here, so I didn't take it here, but I did take it here. It's a little extended, but I take it right here as it goes green, and this is on the current time frame momentum. This is when we're trading on a 5-minute chart. This is what we're interested in. Just like on the SPY super system, you can use that same SPY super system strategy. All right, you can use that same thing on stocks if you want to. You know, I mean, I use it on Tesla quite often. I'm looking for the break above the VWAP with a current time frame momentum going to bullish, and with a Heiken-Ashi reversal candle. All right, so here's Amazon right here, 32% profit in 45 minutes. Very nice little trade here. And ENPH, this was a beautiful 20% in an hour. See, it's coming down here. We know everything's selling, so we know we're going to go short. We're just trying to find a break of compression and having this price get close to the 15. I don't want to chase it away from the 15. I wait till it gets to it. And this is where patience is so important, and wait for the trade to come to you. Very important. Get in as close to that 15 as possible, because that's going to be your stop. Now, when it's sloping down like this, of course, if it gets above it, you may still be up money because it's sloping down. All right, so that was 20% in an hour on ENPH. Okay, and this is Verizon, 50% in an hour here. This was a really nice trade, breaking below the VWAP, selling the heck out of it. 5-minute chart, take puts right here, and take these puts down. These we paid $45 a contract for, and we get out for $67 a contract in 1 hour. It's a nice little trade. All right, so when we use them for overnight, sometimes this was a Tesla overnight trade. But yeah, I think you've probably seen, you get the idea. You've seen enough charts here. That's how this thing works. And this was a beautiful trade in Tesla. We saw here on the daily, on the 5-minute chart, that we had a pop out of the box symbol, and we also had a red candle, and the stock was breaking down. So we took it overnight, and it fell from 120 to 112. So you can imagine how much money we made on the puts on that thing. Okay, so that kind of covers the charts. I spent some time on there. Heiken-Ashi is again, I hope that Heiken-Ashi was helpful to you. Really, you want to try to use those. And again, here's the strategies we use. I went over this. SPY Super System is just in the room. I can't even post these trades. I can't write them out, but I do identify them as I'm getting ready to take them. Or I'll say we got a setup setting up right now here on the SPY, and then I'll say I'm in the SPY. But every trader is responsible on this particular system. They're responsible for their own entries and their own exits and managing the trades, because they're very, very quick. You've got to be able to do that. All right, so what we have to offer is really pretty good. This is we used to have the alert service used to be separate from the room, but they bundled it together on like a 2-for-1 here. So you can get the options, the live trading room, where I call out the trades and then I post them. I call out the highs of SPY Super System trades, and also the SMS text alert service. You can get a 2-week trial on this thing, and after 2-week trial, it goes to 3 months. You get it's $396 for 3 months every quarter. All right, and that comes with the text alerts. It comes with your access to the trading room, and also the Discord. The videos you get. I've got about 30 videos that you can look at that goes over all the strategies you've got. We got one specifically on the SPY Super System. Annual, much cheaper, $11.96 for a whole year of the text alerts and the room and the Discord. We have a Discord where we have 2 other professional traders in there all day long, and then there's, of course, the videos that I do. And one time, if you want to just not have to deal with this anymore, you can just get in, pay for one time. You have lifetime for the text alert service and the trading room and the Discord room, and of course you can look at these videos anytime you want. And I add to them periodically. I'm going to put another one out this weekend on the SPY Super System indicators and update it to the newest ones I've got. Okay, so and this is the SPY super system. This is actually the software. If you're interested in the software that goes on, it goes on Ninja, but I've used it on Thinkorswim. I put it on Thinkorswim. It's called the Compass Trading System. It comes with a whole bunch of with a bunch of scanners for it, and it comes with all the classes, obviously the videos. The Rightline will put that on your machine. They'll contact you and they'll actually install it on your computer. You don't have to do a thing, and it'll look exactly like mine. And you get 1 month in the options live trading room and 1 month in the Compass alert service. You get the alert service in the room for 1 month if you buy the software. If you buy the software, you can do this. If you've got the software, you can trade the SPY super system yourself without being around to give you any guidance if you like to do that. And then there's one time, if you want to get it for lifetime, instead of $14.98 a year, you can get it for $19.98 one time for forever. And again, that comes with the software. And you also get any kind of new scanners that come out, any kind of new indicators. All of those will be grandfathered into anybody who owns the software. All right, and again, so you get the same thing here, and you get 3 months in the trading room and 3 months on the alert service if you buy this at one time for lifetime subscription. They call it a one-time payment. All right, and again, the links are out here in the chat box. Rory's got all the links posted. If you have any questions, you can post your name and number in the question box of the chat box, or you can call Rory at 786-732-4656 if there's anything I can't answer. Cost $997. No. No, the cost is what we just laid out right here. These things have been separated a lot, but this system now is considerably different than what you might have been familiar with a couple of years ago. Email, no calls. No, you can call right here. You can call Rory at 786-732-4656. And I'm in the room all day long. The room's open from market open to market close, and I'm showing charts. I'm showing the SPY super system. I'm identifying setups. I'm answering questions. Traders are always posting charts they're interested in. I bring them up and we talk about them. We look at them technically. We look at them on the Compass system, SPY super system. We look at them in TC2000 and do some deep dives into technical analysis on the charts. So we do a lot of detail work on that. And again, I'm there all day long. And the Discord folks are there all day long too, and they'll answer questions. You can go in and talk to them. So it's really, there's a lot of education that goes on. I talk about technical setups. I'll tell you why I don't think you should take a trade if you suggest it. I'll show you the charts. I'll point out why. If I think it's a good trade, I'll point that out. I don't take all the trades that are mentioned by other members in the room because I can't take that many trades, but I don't want to manage that many. But we have a lot of good traders in there who are pointing out high probability trades every day. All right, email is yeah, there is email. It's Rightline. What is it? Rightline Trading. I think it's I can't remember what it is. It's I think I got it over here. Hold on a second. I can tell you what it is. Yeah, support at rightlinetrading.com. Support at rightlinetrading.com. That'll get you to them. There it is right here. This is the tab I have in the room every day. Support at rightlinetrading.com. Here's our criteria for trading right there. For finding high probability trade setups that we just talked about. All right. So that kind of wraps up the presentation. I appreciate everybody spending time here with me. It ran a little longer than I would hope, but I tried to do as much as I can here. Hey, Miami, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Again, you can try the 2-week trial if you want, but if you want to get the inexpensive, what you want to do is go with the annual access. You're going to get the room and the alert service. And again, I'm in there every day. You can ask me all the questions you want. We have a lot of people in there. And a lot of people come in and can only spend a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours in the afternoon, and that SPY super system has been a big boon to them as far as being able to trade during the day when there aren't any other trades set up. And if you've been trading, you know exactly how crappy this market's been to try to trade through December and January. very, 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 very difficult. Nvidia's been up and down like on a trampoline. All right, so that's it, and I appreciate it. What I will do is I'll go ahead and bring up the I'll bring up my platform. Here's the platform. This is the actual platform. I've got the way it looks now. This is the SPY Super System. Here it is on the NQs. I've got this on the NQs for after hours. But again, here's your current time frame momentum here, multi-time frame momentum right here, and this is the trend. Now this is not showing. Yeah, this is showing after hours. Right. So this is the way it's trading right now. But this is what you get. Now we have some scanners here. This is a cascading up scan, cascading down scan. These scanners will identify stocks that have relative strength on a 5-minute chart. If the market's coming down, these will show stocks that have 3 or more green candles in a row, cascading down 3 or more red candles in a row. You can also use this on a daily chart. I can switch this over to cascading up on daily. Cascading up daily, and it'll populate this, and I can switch this over to a daily chart. And if I click on these, it's going to show me the daily chart for each one of these. All right, there's Baba right there. Moving up pretty strong here today. Again, you can see we've got multi-time frame is still kind of mixed up, but the current time frame looks pretty good. So this is a pretty decent setup. And Baba, they had a pretty good day today. So again, these are showing stocks that have had at least three higher closes, 3 days in a row, 3 higher levels 3 days in a row here, moving up. So there's X-ray right there. So you can just click on them. And same thing with the shorts right here. They're going to show you the stocks that are weak. So again, you can use these for identifying stocks to think if you want to swing them or not. All right, so that's how it works. And I have a lot of other scanners in there. I'm not going to go over all, but there's a lot of scanners in there. Scanners in there, and this is what the setup looks like now. Trend, current time, multi-time frame momentum, current time frame momentum, and this is the actual oscillator, so you can see the direction it's taking. See how fast it's going up and how fast it's going down. Because that makes a difference. Makes a difference on the trades. All right, so that's it. So thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I hope I'm just happy to have you here. I know it's been a long day. Been a long day for me trading and then doing this, but I appreciate you folks listening to the webinar. Take a look at those Heiken-Ashi candles. All right.